live and we are back. We are so happy to be back with you guys. We had to take a little Halloween break. You know, we do have some fathers on the show, and the kids weren't taking any losses with the candy this past weekend. So we had to take a little Halloween break, but we're back, baby. We're back. This is the Locker Room Show, and we got a tremendous show for you tonight. We got an amazing guest, but first and foremost, let me introduce my boy from St. Louis. What's going on, Q? How you doing, baby?
Man, what's going on, Coach? Man, yeah, these kids weren't having it, man. You try to hold them from their candy, you're gonna have a purge on your hands, boy. You ain't having it, dog.
Okay. They're gonna be at your bedside.
I'm telling you.
There you go, man. So glad to have you back, brother. And we got another great show. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in the football industry, but let me not hold back anymore, you guys. I already see some people coming into the comment section. You see who I got in the middle of the screen. Really, for a lot of you guys that are watching, this man needs no introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. You guys are looking at somebody that was an all-state performer as a high school student athlete. Tremendous running back, you guys, at De La Salle, actually state player of the year in California. So you know that's no joke. Goes on to play at San Jose State, you guys, not just football, but also a great baseball player as well. Finished up his career on the baseball field at the University of Texas, then got straight into coaching, you guys. Yep, Longhorns right there. They're hoping they have a big college football playoff run. He went on, you guys, to get into coaching, and thank God he did. He's coached many tremendous athletes that have gone on to college and also some that have played professionally. He is truly a steward of what he talks about. You know, this is a man that's been in the trenches. He's grown the Junipero Serra High School program up from the bottom up. It was a doormat when I was in high school. Now they are a perennial power, you guys, and I don't want to hesitate anymore, but I'd love to introduce the great Pat Walsh. How's it going, Coach?
Doing great, Coach. Thanks for having me on the show. I feel really honored, man. And that intro get me fired up, man. I'd love to have played with you guys, man.
Oh man, shoot! I was a quarterback at Reardon, so all I would have done is handed the ball off to you, and we would have been all right. But once again, you guys, this is the great Pat Walsh, Serra High School. If you guys don't know, every single year is in the mix. We work with many of their athletes, even a couple right now, like Elias, great offensive lineman, and he does it right. Always love working with Serra High products, Serra High athletes, because they're going to be disciplined. They're going to work their tail off, and they know what it's all about. Once again, this is somebody that's laced it up himself at the great De La Salle High School, and he knows what it's all about, you guys. So we are tremendously excited to have Coach, and we're going to get right into it. I see some people already joining us and in the chat, so thank you for what's up, guys. I see you, Coach, and then I know Coach Peralta is probably checking in with us, my old high school coach as well. So thank you guys for joining us. I would be remiss before we start the show not to pay some homage and respect to the great Rick De Jesus. He's the father of Jacob De Jesus. Unfortunately, he has passed away. A great friend of the show. He was rocking with us every Thursday night. That's him on the far right, you guys. So we want to send our great prayers to the De Jesus family. And Jacob's doing his thing. He's an All-American at UNLV and hoping that he finishes strong for his dad. So we're praying for you guys. But let's get into it, you guys. We've got the great Pat Walsh with us, you guys. And once again, I shouldn't have to say much about what this man has accomplished, but 2017 state champ, multiple appearances at the state title game. And then, like I said, countless WCAL champions and kids going off to college, which is huge. So let's get into it, Coach. I mean, all of the topics are on the bottom ticker. You came from De La Salle, storied program. When you were there, nobody could touch you guys, and you were a big part of that. So if for us outsiders looking in, Can you give us maybe 2 or 3 things that just really separated the program back then than other programs?
The relationships that were created at De La Salle were second to none. And the word love is used frequently at De La Salle, which is what we use a lot at Serra as well. To building relationships that are rooted in deep love for one another, sacrifice for one another. The goal of my program and De La Salle's program, there's my man, Coach Ladd right there, was to create relationships that are so deep that the men standing in your wedding are guys that played, high school football with you. And that actually happened. So everyone in my wedding were De La Salle Spartans. And those guys, if we had to go to war, they'd be right in the trenches with me. And it's deep. And I think the all boys environment and what Coach Ladd creates there, allows us to love on the deepest of all levels. And I think that's one of the main powerful lessons I drew from there. I would say number 2, Coach, is just this experience, Coach Ladd and Coach Edson and the guys created a platform where you felt like as a young teenager, you were capable of anything, and building a community around there and being full of hope and life and dreams and just this environment that allowed us to elevate would lead me to, I think, the third point, which was creating basically a movement. Like you, Coach, we lost my junior year. And you're not supposed to do that at De La Salle.
Yep.
And I remember Amani Toomer, we all know about Amani Toomer. We lost, and it was not a great experience. And because of the aforementioned things, we use these tools and this platform to create a movement where me and my friends basically said, we're going to rewrite the book of an already amazing book and on how to do things the Spartan way. And one of the things I'm most proud of, guys, is a 151 game win streak that happened. Well, my team, and I will brag about my team, was the first 13 games of a 13-year winning streak. So being a part of a movement is really, really exciting and something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
That's amazing, Coach. And it's just crazy how you have started a movement at Serra. This is a 20-year strong deal here. And like I said, kids going off to college, kids are growing up now, Q, in the Bay Area wanting to play for this man. And I know that, Coach, you played for many amazing coaches yourself. You mentioned Coach Bob Laddiser. You mentioned John Ralston when you were over at San Jose State. I know you've had a chance to tap in to so many coaches along your journey. What are a couple of lessons that you remember from just the wealth of knowledge that these coaches have shared with you?
Yeah, 100%. I would say I spent not a lot of time, but you mentioned the University of Texas. I had an opportunity to have a short time with Coach Augie Garrido, who is one of the most legendary college baseball coaches of all time. And you can look him up online. If you look at some Augie Garrido speeches, there's some legendary, absolutely legendary YouTube things that'll never die. And I was a part of that. And at the center of what I felt from Coach Garrido was this level of competition, this compete, that even though I was at De La Salle and it was a different type of compete, but I've never been around a man who we competed playing catch. Like warming up, we competed. And it was like there was a scoring system. And if you caught it here was a point. If you caught it here was a point. If you threw it over the guy's head, you had to chase it. Like everything we did from the minute we walked into the building, we were competing with Coach Augie Garrido. And I feel so blessed about that because that's how we do things at Serra. Like we have compete periods. It's, when you're there for 2 hours, the 2 hours we have with the guys, it's full throttle. And I think that's allowed us to be competitive over the years.
That's amazing, Coach. And obviously the proof is in the pudding with what you guys are doing on the field. You guys, thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Coach Wood. You got Q the Guru with us. And then, of course, the great Coach Pat Walsh, California, coach at Legend Serra High School, doing big things, you guys. All of the topics are on the bottom ticker. And Q, I'll start with you this one, man. We've had an amazing season in college football, and there's some coaches laying it down, man. You got Signetti over at Indiana. You've got Coach Prime at my alma mater, Colorado. You've got the great Coach Lashley doing his thing in Texas at SMU.
Yeah.
You got BYU, who's undefeated. People not really talking about them. And then, of course, they were supposed to do something, but it's a difference between saying it and doing it. You got the great Dan Lanning at Oregon, man. So, Q, talk to me. If things were done today, that's some good candidates, man. Who would you give Coach of the Year to?
Man, that's a tough one, man. I mean, the reason, man, I like what Coach Prime has done is because of all everyone expected him to fail. And because of his persona, they thought that everything was smoke and mirrors, and it was more along the lines of a show. And like you said, Coach, he's one of the greatest competitors of all time. As an individual man, he's one of the great, like he's on that Jordan level of like, you just not going to beat me. So that's the thing about Coach Prime versus the other coaches, which have had phenomenal seasons. Lord knows, I don't know where Indiana came from. I've been watching them closely, and they just been flat out getting it done. But that's the reason why I have to have Coach Prime, is because it was like, I mean, we're not even talking about the general public, man. We're talking about other coaches that we're hoping that this dude failed, man. I'm talking like D1 coaches that are supposed to be full of integrity and morals, and they were wishing that this dude falls flat on his face too. So that's why I got to go with Coach Prime.
Okay. And obviously, you guys, there's much more season to go, so all of this has to play out. But I got someone right here, great, a coach that has been through the grind. Coach, talk to me. I know you've been watching some college football out of Signetti, out of Coach Prime, out of Rhett Lashley, and BYU Sataki, and then also Oregon's Lanning. Who would Coach Walsh give Coach of the Year to this year?
Well, right now, to me, it would come down to Kalani Sataki and Dan Lanning for me. Those would be the two guys. I think they're similar ends of the spectrum, or similar boats, if you will, but different ends of the spectrum when it comes to kind of the Nike and the Oregon thing and all they kind of got all you would think all the reasons to be Oregon, but they have never been really where they're at right now. And I've actually had the pleasure. It's an open door policy for myself and all the Serra coaches. We go up to Oregon every year, and we get get to hang out with Coach Lupoy. Tosh, he's a De La Salle Spartan. He's a defensive coordinator up there. Really, really dear friend of mine. I actually coached him at De La Salle. So I've been able to see under the hood of this, and what those guys do, the work and the production and what they put on there is absolutely unbelievable. And I've been all over the country watching college football and watching college football practices and learning, and what Coach Lanning and those guys do. It's absolutely unbelievable. So you look at like a Nick Saban and you go, oh, it's Alabama. They have all the talent. Well, there was a time when Alabama wasn't good, pre-Nick Saban. Those dudes coach. Coach Lanning and Coach Lupoy and all those guys coach, and they coach so hard, and they coach the details. And they have like film sessions on how to coach. Like I've sat in film sessions with, this is crazy, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Coach Lanning and the guys, we've sat in film sessions when they're reviewing the film, coaching how they're going to coach the meeting. They literally practice talking to the kids when the kids aren't there. And I'm sitting in, this is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. And I'm looking around like, who are they talking to? Like, they're listening to each other and how they're going to coach the meeting when they break down the practice. It was fascinating. Yeah. So I think
now, coach, one thing though, you do have to say, it is a hell of a lot different when you got the horses too. You got to think, when you look at Lou Holtz and that 87, 88, 89, 90 team, and you got Tony Rice, Jerome Bettis, Rocket Ishmael, I can keep going. When you got the horses and you have coaches that can coach on with that type of ability, and you get these kids that are 4- and 5-star kids that actually buy in and ditch the arrogance, that's when you get a program like that.
That's
the
hard part. It's getting the 4- or 5-star killers to leave the arrogance at home.
No doubt. And that's where I think Lanning and those guys are really kind of, that's why they get my vote for coach of the year, is because of that. Like, there's all sorts of reasons in this day and age. I even remember when in that Coach Prime game, I flew up to that game. I've gone to very few college football games, very few, for obvious reasons. But I had an opportunity to go up with my son. I flew up to that first Oregon-Colorado game, and that's where he laid down, they play for clicks and we play for one another, whatever he said. Like, that was badass. That was badass. So I think Lanning is the way he motivates, the things he does on a weekly basis. This week they have the thumbs down gladiator thing. I don't know that you can follow him online. He's a motivational kind of genius. He loves the game. He loves the kids. He's very ingratiating. I'm a big time Coach Lanning fan.
There you go. And everybody who he's growing on me. He's growing on me. And everybody who meets him, though, it's same thing. They love him, die hard. And I'm real good with Big Dave, Mateo Uyangale's father. And he loves Landon to death. Yeah. So you're not the first person. Go ahead.
I say, Coach, another thing too, with me watching Oregon this year is, again, when you have that kind of talent, but you're not winning off of just talent, it's when you have talented kids that are well coached. Because as we all know, I can take 2, 3-star kids, hell, kids are not even really ranked like that as on a national level as players, and be well coached. And I'm going to I'm going to go to town on you. But the fact that they got the horses and they don't make mistakes, there's no fumbles on D. They get the ball back. They get at the ball carrier. They get to the quarterback. Like they don't miss tackles. That's the stuff I watch. They don't make mistakes. Like when you have the talent, and Oregon is the type of team that Coach Lang's like, damn it, you're going to have to line up and beat me.
Yeah.
You're going to have to line up and beat me. We're not going to make any mistakes. You're going to have to flat out man-on-man beat me today. And I don't think you can do it. So
the great George Schramm joining us saying, what's up, PW? George Schramm, amazing player himself. Monta Vista went on to Colorado State. His son followed up and playing at Colorado State. Rocco, so we love you. Thank you for joining us. We got Jimmy coming in. Jimmy, a great fan and friend of the program. He's saying he's going Signetti.
Hell, Jimmy, they might. They might. And listen, and what do I say every week? I don't care who you are. You have to show up. You have to show up. That's why we've seen these crazy upsets. I would say even more than in the recent years. I can't count how many major upsets there's been this season alone, because, again, you're looking at the schedule and boys aren't getting off the bus or the plane and not showing up. You have to show up every single Saturday. We got the portal, and we got too many top-notch kids all over the place. So, no, it's like you don't have a team that's holding all the horses, like maybe like an Alabama. So you had the solid players are more distributed now equally. True. So you got to show up, man.
Yeah. Coach Rondo coming in, and that is the Pace University Division II school. Amazing school. Coach, I got some players for you, and I know Coach Walsh does too. He's saying, I'm going with Signetti, and you can't go wrong with Prime either. So we love you, Coach. On the D2 level, we going with you, Coach Rondo. So we're on to our next topic. You guys having a great time with the great Pat Walsh. He's doing his thing, Serra High School. I know some of you guys are considering maybe attending this school. You need to look at Coach Walsh. So this is a good one, Coach. This is a good one, and we'll start with you. We've had some recent viral videos of coaches. This is the ULM, Louisiana Monroe coach, going off on players. They're going off on player right here. He had to be held back. The great Kirby Smart has been known a little bit to get a little rowdy on the sideline. And, different day and age, coach, than maybe when you were toting the Rocket de la Salle. So I want to ask you, what's the line, coach? Sometimes you got to give a little bit more on a kid just to get him to reach his potential. But for you, what's the line as far as getting after a kid?
Yeah, I'm more apt to do that during practice than I am during a game. I think if you're getting on a kid during a game, it might be more about you than it is about them. I mean that when I say, demeaning a kid in public in front of everyone, like that's the line for me. I don't think it's right to demean kids when they fumble a ball or miss a blocking assignment or those sort of things. That's the thing that's supposed to be cleaned up Monday through Thursday, not Friday night or Saturday on game day, in my opinion. If you get to a point where you're out of control as a coach and you're demeaning kids in front of their family and their girlfriends and that sort of stuff, like that would be my line for sure. The one area though, I do pull the plug on that is if they get personal fouls. And if personal fouls and like for behavioral reasons, talking smack and those sort of things, like I will, because they're basically demeaning our program, I'm going to pull them aside and make a spectacle basically out of poor behavior. And just that is unacceptable at Serra High School. And that is a line that I will draw when it comes to that. I will also say you can't touch the kids. The clear line in the sand.
Yeah.
You can touch the kids when you got your arm around them saying, man, I know you didn't mean to throw that pick. You're okay. We love you. We care about you. Let's move on to the next play. But some of this stuff is just intolerable.
Coach, have you ever had to maybe tap an assistant coach on the side or pull them aside and say, hey, that's not the way we do things here?
Yeah, demeaning the kids is the line in this. I say that all the time, guys. Don't demean the kids. It's not this. Again, like if you're losing your mind during a game negatively, then what are you saying about yourself? Like you don't have any self-control. You can't control yourself. And you're that bad of a coach that you've coached a kid who's at behaving or blocking that bad. You're yelling at them. That's about you. And I think there's better ways to handle things in a high, this is a high stress environment. It's a testosterone, ego driven environment where solving problems on game day is generally not through losing your mind as a coach. That's I've always been before the game. I tell my guys, we're problem solvers today. We're not even motivators today. If we got to motivate today, we've already failed. Yeah. So today, let's problem solve. Let's be clients. Let's be clients of our boys. Yeah. Let's help them because they're the ones out there on the field that got to make the plays. That's always been my philosophy at Serra.
Thanks.
Wow,
right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Q, talk to me a little bit, man. I mean, we're old school. You were at St. Louis. I know you had a hard-nosed coach, man. What's the line? Maybe if you're a parent watching your kid get coached, what's the line on too far?
No, I mean, I can agree. Definitely, man. Keeping your hands to yourself, with the kids or whatnot. Same thing what Coach said, man. How do you teach your team, poise? If you can't keep your cool on the sideline, yourself, right? We have the universal philosophy in football is next man up. So if a kid is making a mistake and as a coach internally you're getting that angry, it's one of those things where you pull the kid aside, next man up, right, which is hopefully ready to go, and let's go over just happened. What are you seeing? Like you said, a client, what are you seeing? How can I help you? That's where the coach is saying, y'all, the client concept is coming from. Being a problem solver. I need to know what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what the guy across from you is doing where you're making the mistakes. Is it just a brain fart? Are you just nervous? But we need to figure out, what's going on so we can get you back out there so you can play how I feel as a coach you can play. Right? That's the whole bottom line. And if you're not doing that, then you don't need to be a coach because, man, we're out here to make better men and better players, man. Right?
I'd like to add to that too. Like one of my favorite, it's hard enough to beat Bellarmine if I got to beat Serra every day too.
Right.
So So if we're trying to beat, Reardon coach or UN or one of these guys, and the kids feel like they got to beat their coaches, they got to beat Sarah, then how are they going to get to that frame of mind where they got to beat the opponent? So I think a lot of those times, those moments can actually block and get in the way of progress to what we're all trying to do, which is to have more points than the other team.
Facts.
I love it. I love it. And you guys see why this gentleman is kicking butt and taking names, you guys. And this is a very, very difficult league that Coach Walsh coaches in, you guys. So, but for people like him and the great coaches, it's about more than football, and that's what he's talking about here. So I appreciate you, Coach, on that one. We are on to our next topic, you guys, and we're rocking and rolling with the great Coach Pat Walsh. This is some good stuff here, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it. This one was one I wanted to bring up to you guys. Unfortunately, some bad news. It looks like this young man's going to be okay, but Josh Reynolds shot twice, leaving a Denver area strip club last weekend, you guys. So this gentleman is going to be okay. Talented young wide receiver, but wrong place, wrong time, and looks like almost shot in the head. So thank the Lord that he's going to be okay. But I wanted to run this by you guys, and I'll actually start off with you, Coach Walsh. Guys are going to be guys, and they're going to do some things that are a little bit borderline, whether it's the strip club or snowboarding during the season or motorcycles. Once guys start getting paid, whether it's the NFL or college now, do you think that coaches should be able to limit activities like this during the season, or do you think that they should let the kids do what they need to do?
I definitely think they should be able to limit those activities. Now, strip clubs they're legal entities. They're 21 years old, 18, 21. Like, you're allowed to go there. So that, I would say, that's an adult. That's a male choice, female choice, whatever. It's a choice, and I don't think I would add that to the list. Although, being out late and being up late in the morning and being, nothing great happens after 12 or 1 a.m. anyway. But that's men. Adults need to be adults. With that said, if I'm paying someone who's basically the biggest and best asset they have is their bodies, and they're on snowmobiles that are dangerous machines, I should be able to say, I don't want you on snowmobiles. I don't want you on jet skis. I don't want you skiing. Right. Like right now, like if you tear your ACL skiing, you won't be able to basically meet the demands that it takes to be an NFL football player by our contract. Yeah. So I think 100% those type of activities should be banned or should be able to put in the contract. You can't do that during the season. Now, off season, that's gray area too. I don't know. That's, people got to be able to live too.
Yeah. But the thing is, Coach, you got to look at it like, hell, how much is your career worth to you?
Yeah, there you go.
You see what I mean? How much? You think about it like this, guys. Let's look at the article again. Broncos player Josh Reynolds injured shooting, and as we said, he's coming out of a strip club. When have you heard somebody getting shot coming out the grocery store? Right, right. Every time we hear this, no matter what the kid's name is, it's coming out of a strip club or coming out of a bar, or it's the same thing over and over and over again. So at some point in time, you have to think, damn, I'm getting paid a lot of money. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Like, if it's like that, man, and I absolutely need to see some strippers, hell, have them come over to your house. At least it's secured, right? It's a secured space.
Nobody's gonna shoot you.
But we're not going outside, Coach.
So talk to me though on a serious note, though, Q. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens GM, should I be able to put in Lamar's contract, Derrick Henry's contract, that during the season, no strip clubs?
Oh, 100%. As Coach said, any activities that are high probability for you getting in a situation. I don't even want you hooping.
Okay.
I don't even want you hooping in the off season or during the season. I don't want you around a pool, even if you got one in your house. Don't go. Just look out the pool from the window. I don't want anything. I don't want any. I'm paying you to. If I'm the GM or I'm over player person. I'm paying you too much money.
Yeah, and Coach put up a good point. You know, some of these kids that they're paying, and now college kids are getting paid high six figures, $1 million. You know, you're my hope. If I'm Ohio State, I'm hoping you can bring me to the college football playoffs. You can't do that if you're getting shot or if you fall off your motorcycle.
That's true.
You know, this is good topic, and obviously we'll continue to bring up things like this. This young man is going to be okay. So thank God on that. But hopefully that's the last strip club for a while for Mr. Josh Reynolds. So very, very interesting topic. We're on to our next set, you guys, and we are rocking and rolling with the great Coach Pat Walsh. He got a game this weekend. They're going into the playoffs. There's a lot going on, so we appreciate Coach Walsh's time. But right now, we got to see how his time's looking on the lightning round. You guys. So this is a portion of the show, and if you're joining us for the first time, the lightning round, you guys, is our opportunity to put Coach Walsh through a little blitz. So he's used to coaching quarterbacks through the 2-minute warning, but we got a little 60-second warning for Coach. And since I know this gentleman's history a little bit, I got a pretty good list. So we're going to see how Coach moves through this list. So, Coach, you got 60 seconds. I'm going to get my stop. That's ready now. He can move back in his day. Number 20 for the De La Salle Spartans. He can move. We're going to see how he moves on this list. So let me get the stopwatch ready, Coach. We're going to set you at 0. So you know I'm not cheating you, even though I'm a Crusader. I'm not going to cheat you, Coach. So we do got him at 0s. And then it's the first thing that comes to your mind, Coach. So unfiltered. Don't elaborate. You want to go quick. First thing that goes to your mind, okay? You got 60 seconds. Our high water mark right now is 15. So if you can get to 15 or higher, then you got a dinner on the locker room show. I got to come out to San Mateo and take you out to lunch or dinner, Coach. So 15, you get 1 for tech delay. 1 for tech delay. So even 14, you're in the mix. All right, you guys. I know we got some people watching. This is the lightning round. So we're going to see how Coach does. First thing that comes to Coach Walsh's mind, unfiltered. All right.
I'm nervous.
Number one, the WCAL. Go.
Great talent.
Bob Ladouceur.
Best coach in high school history.
Jeff Garcia.
Amazing competitor.
Best player you ever played against.
Ink Aliaga.
Lasagna or ravioli?
Lasagna all day.
Would you rather pet a lion or pet an alligator?
Alligator.
DJ Williams.
Best NorCal athlete of all time.
Best you've ever coached against.
Modern day.
Trip to Spain or trip to Dubai? 50 seconds.
Dubai.
Flag football.
Great alternative.
John Ralston.
Legend.
Favorite football movie? Time.
Give him that one. Rudy. Give him that one.
Okay, we'll give it to him. Okay, Coach rolling at the end. All right, we got to add
hey, Coach, we usually get everybody with, guys like you that have been there, done that, man. That's a long list, ain't it? We like best players you didn't play against. I saw the wheels turn. I'm like, oh, hell, he got him.
I got Ink Aliaga from University of Washington. And the reason why he stands out, he was a like pretty much a human cement truck that I had to block the entire game. I was in pass protection at San Jose State. We're playing University of Washington. Oh my God! I mean, that was I'll never forget that.
No protocol after that, huh?
They're running A gap dogs all game, and I'm head on head with this dude. Oh my God! And back then, you could cut blocks. I was a damn good cut blocker. So
I'm telling you, got to. Got
Yeah, I
time for that,
remember.
man.
And Jimmy knows everything about college football. He remembers Ink too, yeah.
Nice.
And
It was-
Washington
Yeah.
and yeah, Coach earned his scholarship on that game versus Washington. So let's add them up, you guys. We got a great list here. See how Coach did. Once again, he gets 1 for Tectile. So even if he gets to 14, he's rocking and rolling. All right, number 1, WCAL. That's the West Catholic Athletic League. That's the league he's in right now, top league in Northern California. He says great talent. Number 2, he's going with the best coach ever in California, Bob Lattiser. That's his old coach from De La Salle. Jeff Garcia, old San Jose State quarterback, Niners, bunch of teams. He says amazing competitor for number 3. Number 4, best you've ever played against, the great Ink Aliaga. Number 4. Number 5, he's saying I'm going with the lasagna over the ravioli every day. So number 5, lasagna. Number 6, coach says, give me the alligator. Give me the alligator over the lion. I will pet the alligator. Number 7, he said DJ Williams, who he coached. You guys know, great De La Salle player, went on to the U. He said best player in Northern California history, and that's a long history. Number 8, best you've ever coached against. And he didn't give me a player, but he said a team, Modern Day, and we'll take it. And I know that Modern Day team was loaded too. Number 9, is Coach going to Spain or Dubai? He says, take me to Dubai. Let me get my Louis shopping on. Coach wants to go to Dubai. Number 10, flag football. You guys don't know. He runs an amazing flag football program for years in the Bay Area. He says, great alternative. It's coming to the Olympics, too. Great alternative. John Ralston, the great coach at San Jose State. What did you say? Did you say greatest coach ever?
Legend.
Legend.
Yeah.
And then number 12, you guys, favorite football movie. We gave it to him. He said Rudy, which is obviously a damn it. So with the tech delay, Coach gets 13. Coach is rocking with 13, and we really appreciate it, Coach. So have fun. So, hey, you guys, we are on to our last section of the show. A lot of you guys that may be with us live might have a question for Coach. So if you got a question for Coach, put it in the comments section. But Q, I know you got something for the great Coach.
Definitely, Coach. So my question for this evening is going from how you were recruited out of high school and what you've seen now being a coach for so long, what are your likes or dislikes about how recruiting has changed?
Well, I like that there's more kind of opportunities for athletes to celebrate themselves. Or to push themselves out there through social media. As we know, those platforms give a great freedom for people to put their highlight tapes up and basically take ownership of their own recruiting. Obviously with guidance from guys like you and, the great coaches that help these kids, but, having the ability to kind of celebrate themselves and give themselves more visibility, I think that's really a positive thing when it comes to this day and age in social media. I will say one of the problems, though, is that sometimes the stars and all these other things can hijack a kid's brain. And because of that, like it's a double-edged sword, because of that and the stress of it and wanting to be what you see on social media, not just on TV. Like it used to be just be what you saw on Saturdays or Sundays. Now you see it every day. I want to be just like that kid. And like a kid who's just amazing with this is Travis Hunter, right? Like, I want to be like T Hunter. Like, that puts a lot of pressure, I think, and anxiety on kids. And I really see, I call it being hijacked by the stars. Don't get hijacked by the stars. I don't mean like the stars. I mean like the stars of your rating. Don't get hijacked by it. Be a great kid. Focus on your academics. Focus on basically getting to first base before you get on third or hit a home run. You got to do the basics first. And that's really the biggest thing that's changed, really, Coach. And now NIL and some other things, it can be really hard to navigate for these poor kids.
Yeah, I agree, Coach. It's like they get lost in the star. Like the star thing, that's a really big thing, and they lose track of just worry about getting better every day. Worry about getting better every single day, and they get totally lost in that, man. Because trust me, we could have a whole show about guys in the league that were no stars that are playing at an all-pro level right now.
100%.
Right now. So don't get hung up on that.
100%.
That's a good point,
Well,
Coach.
I was looking, I thought I had a photo of him behind me, but David Bakhtiari was a 2-star guy coming out of Serra High School. He went to Colorado. He made $67 million playing in the NFL, blocking for Aaron Rodgers.
See,
There he is right there.
Right.
Yeah, there's David right there. So, there's all sorts of different ways to get to the top.
It is, man.
As long as you believe in yourself, and you know what I mean. Tom Brady's another one. Shit. I mean, both those guys in that picture, they weren't highly recruited dudes. But they believed in themselves and they worked hard and obviously had some God-given ability. I always say to my guys, the number one entity or thing or being or whatever you want to call it that is going to assist you in your recruiting is God. And what but 5'6", I'm 5'6", I was 185 pounds, and I ran a 4.740. I had the accolades. Thank you so much for all the.
Only reason you were at San Jose State, Q, led the state in touchdowns, man. You're looking at the California State Player of the Year at running back at Salle. He would have been in Nebraska or Oklahoma or something. Yeah. But like he said, 5'6", 180 pounds. Dog.
Yeah. I mean, and I look back on those days. I'm almost 50 now, and I look back and have zero regrets from those. I took the orange that God gave me and squeezed out the best I could out of it.
And there you go.
Coach Ladd helped me. And every athlete, whether you're 6'6" or 5'6" or whatever, your goal on a daily basis should be to squeeze out whatever that God gave you, wring it out, because at the end of the day, other people are making decisions about you. Like
Facts. But here's one thing I wanted to add though, Coach, is what pisses you off as a coach is when you got a kid that's got all the intangibles and he's not giving you everything. And and you trying to get more out of him, but he's got all the tools, all the measurables, 6'2" safety, 210 in high school, 4.4 flat, jumper 4, like all the freaking measurables in the world. But that's the one thing you can't give.
Yeah. Those underachievement.
That's what makes you upset as a coach.
Underachievement is a non-negotiable for me. Like if you look like David Bakhtiari, I want you to achieve at the highest level you can. If you look like me, some little dude I expect you to play as hard as you can every single play, regardless of the gift God gives you. And that's what our goal as coaches should be, to do, is to try to bring out the best in each and every one of them.
Facts.
Amazing. Yeah, well,
man.
Hey, that's the mic drop right there. We're not going to keep Coach any longer because he's in the midst of the season. And whenever we get a coach to give us some time in the season, we want to respect that. So, Coach Walsh, you got an open invitation. Love what you're doing for decades. Keep up the great work, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. And I will say to George Schramm here, I see his question. I believe public and private schools should be split. I believe they should be split in the state of California. That's my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Great question right there. You see the great George Schramm. He says opinion. Should the schools be split? And
absolutely.
Says, yeah. It's amazing.
I mean, my quarterback last year is from Sacramento.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what that
is. And it is what it is.
I mean, I didn't go out and get him or any of that crazy stuff. He wanted to come to Serra, and he did, and now he's at Oklahoma State. He might start this weekend. I mean,
that's dope.
Monte Vista, George went to Monte Vista. They can't have a quarterback from Sacramento on their team.
Yeah.
So they should be split. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
I empathize with, the De La Salle problem, the Serra problem, whatever you want to call it. Public should play publics. Private should play privates. I've always said that. I wanted to state that for the record here, too.
Facts. Good point, Coach.
Great. And I appreciate you being honest with us, Coach. We love you. Go get some dessert, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good one. All right, you guys. So, hey, that is the great Coach Walsh. Q. I mean, dude, powerhouse, dude. When I came up, it was us and them. We always produced talent, kids going off to college, but it was us and them as the doormats, man. And now both programs are doing well, but Serra, dude, for years has been the Northern California. He would have multiple state championships if he didn't have to go play Bosco or Mater Dei every year.
Yeah, and that's tough. But and that's why, going off of what he said, man, like, you can't, like, come on, man, you got kids from Texas and Florida all over.
Shipping them in.
You know what? Actually, while we're on the air, man, big shots out to my man Brandon Gregory and the coaches over there at East St. Louis High School that's ranked in the top 25 public school, East St. Louis, and went toe to toe with with Bosco, IMG, and lost 14-13, and that's a purely IMG. Obviously, is a
neighborhood
kid. All recruited kids from all over, and you talking about kids from the same hood, and 14-13, and really should have won that game. So big shots out to the East St. Louis Flyers, man. Y'all, that was a great game. Great game, man.
Right. All right, you guys. So, hey, yeah, sometimes the public schools, it's down in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So, but in California, I think it's just too wide of a gap. So
it's like that most places, Coach. It really is. It should be separated across the board, man. Because, I mean, we know what it is, man. You know, like, come on, man. Again, like, you got IMGs, Bosco, man, Mater Dei. Like, come on, man. These kids are hired guns, man. Like, come on, dude.
My quarterback's from Sacramento, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, man. You got hired a team full of hired mercs.
So, all right, you guys. Well, hey, hopefully you enjoyed the show. We're back, baby. We're back from our candy and our trick-or-treating, and we got a great end of the season lined up for you guys. Hitters, great guests, just like Coach Walsh. So hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. We are trying to build the best football community on YouTube organically. Coach ain't got millions of dollars, so we got to do this organically, and we want you guys to join us. If you need recruiting support, you already heard Coach Walsh said sometimes you guys need programs like Before You Go Pro. So check out beforeyougopro.com. We've helped out so many of Coach Walsh's kids, but kids across the country. So there are no limits. If you want some free resources, go to beforeyougopro.com and make sure that you're gamed up on how to get to college. And then also, new day and age with NIL, you guys. So go to NILLLC.org. Once again, NILLLC.org. Find out how to make money, save money, grow your money as a student athlete. All right. So we are out of here. Q, anything for the good people before we get out?
Hey, definitely, Coach. I'm going to keep saying it, man. It's playoff time, man. Make plays. You want to get on the map. You want to go to school. You want to get noticed. Make plays in the playoffs, man.
All right.
Simple as that. That's not algebra.
From the guru, baby. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.